you that I call on my FaceTime when I need something real.
Guys, what's going on? Gonna try to do a little bit of a commentary here on yesterday's workout. Yesterday was a full chest and back workout. Corey added a little bit of arms and shoulders. I kind of just stuck to the push-pull. This whole workout here, I just want to make pretty clear, there was a lot of emphasis on form over ego. That was kind of the idea behind it. Basically, you know, it's not about the amount of weight you can lift. It's about the quality of each rep. You know what I mean? Getting that full contraction, good squeeze each time you do a rep, each time you do a set. You want to basically get the best. You want to get the most out of every rep, out of every set that you can. You don't want to sit there. You don't want to let the weight bully you around. You know, pulling you, compromise form, risk injury. It's not worth it.
You're looking for quality.
So, leading off with the workout, we decided to do some internal, external rotations for the shoulders. Your shoulders are a huge joint. You know, you got multiple moving parts, so better be safe than sorry. I don't typically warm up too extensive, but any type of pushing movement, overhead press, bench press, anything like that, I just at least want to wake up the shoulders a little bit.
Yep. Yeah, like Chris said, I don't, warm up like a crazy person or anything like that generally. But when it comes to the shoulders, I like to do a little bit extra warm up because, like Chris said, it's more of a complex joint. There's a lot going on in the shoulder, so I like to warm it up a little bit more than say, maybe joints that just move in a single motion or whatnot. And that's kind of why we did these internal, external rotations before we started our workout.
Kind of the key with these things too, if you've never done them before, super low resistance you want to use. You know, we're using a band here that's next to nothing, but you want to keep most of your focus on that elbow. You want to keep it tucked, and you want to try to maintain somewhat of a 90-degree angle. So if you look, you want that nice corner, that 90-degree, and you want to just pull in, rotate out, and vice versa. You want to do that for each movement. So external, you're going to rotate out. Internal, you're going to rotate in.
Yep.
So moving into our work sets. Actually, I take that back. This was our warm-up. I can't remember how many warm-up sets I did, but it's one of those things with warming up, personal preference. You do what you need to do until you feel good.
Yep.
So as you can see here, I only threw a quarter on each side. Just trying to get a nice stretch at the bottom, and then power up, get the blood going.
Get things moving.
This workout here, I was doing a strength style workout where I was basically taking percentages of my 1 rep maximum, and then I was utilizing that percentage towards a particular rep range. So this day, I believe I was doing 3 working sets of 3, with my last set being 3+ reps. I actually messed that up. I started doing sets of 5, and by my third working set, you'll see the weight felt much heavier for me than it should have. So I did a back down set, which totally fine, nothing wrong with that. Just make sure you're keeping that form, keeping that consistency each rep. So here I think I had 205 maybe, I think, for one of my warm-ups. Again, supposed to be a set of 3, I did a set of 5. No big deal.
Yep, not every day you're going to feel, overly strong, overly excited about, working out. And so what helps a lot is to kind of use an RPE scale, depending on how you feel that day, or sort of auto-regulating your sets in your workout. Me and Chris tend to use, we do our sets in a way to where we're trying not to hit failure every set, so that we can kind of build that volume up. Sometimes we'll do a set to failure on maybe our last set or whatnot, but those sets beforehand, we try to stay in a rep range of, an RPE range of say 7 to 10, meaning maybe 3 reps left in the tank, 2 reps left in the tank, 1 rep left in the tank, instead of going all out.
So if you saw right there, that last set was my set of 3. And if you couldn't tell by the shaking, again, the weight just felt heavy for me that day. So I did a back down set. Here I had, I believe, 225. Did a set of 10. Again, all the concentration, nice, slow, controlled movements. You don't see me bouncing off my chest. I'm coming down, I'm making contact with the chest, and then I'm driving up.
And another thing I wanted to point out there, you'll notice that I bench press a little bit different than Chris does. I try to use a bigger arch because I'm more or less into powerlifting than bodybuilding, and I also believe that bodybuilders should bench press like that because I just feel it's a safer way to bench press as far as the shoulders go and whatnot.
So right here we're doing a supinated grip. So you have a supinated grip and you have a pronated grip. So basically, the reason we're doing this, don't really do a whole lot of bicep work. So this is a good way to kind of incorporate both muscle groups. Again, nice slow controlled movement. You get to the bottom, you want to retract that scapula. You want to squeeze the muscle. Hold it, and then release, get a nice good stretch.
Yeah, we're looking for quality here, quality reps. As you can see, when Chris lifts here, he brings it down and then he pauses for a second, opposed to kind of using that stretch reflex and bouncing up or coming up, throwing it through the roof and then coming down. We're kind of trying to control our reps and get the most out of each rep as we can. Looking for more or less quality reps.
At the end of the day, it's one of these things, right? I was in high school, I started lifting in high school, went to college, same thing. For the longest time, I always thought weight was the most important thing. You want to look cool, you want to try to lift as much as you possibly can, you want to outdo the guy next to you. Unfortunately, I hate to break it to you, that's not the case. You do a set like this, nice, slow, controlled movements.
Get your volume in.
Yeah, you can do progressive overload. You're going to continue to increase weight. That's without question.
Yep.
But regardless of the weight, you're going to get more out of each rep because you're actually getting a full contraction. You're tearing that muscle and allowing it to rebuild. You're tearing it with every single contraction, every single stretch. And overall, it's going to be better for muscle development.
Yeah. So basically, you're aiming for progressive overload, throughout your whole, training career, I guess you could say. But on the day-to-day, the amount of progression that you get it needs to be in terms of what your body has adapted to and what you're able to progress to. You know what I mean? It's not like you're going to be able to go in the gym, especially, maybe as a beginner you can progress day to day, week to week, but as you've been training for years and you start to get more into that intermediate advanced stages of your career in lifting, it's, progress is harder to come by. So you look for quality over quantity or how much weight that you can lift, because when you start getting your ego involved, that's when you start getting these injuries. So I had just taken about 5 months off of lifting. I had gotten a little tweak in my lower back, and I had to take some time off. And the reason is because I wanted to compete in a powerlifting meet, and I was just pushing my sets and my weight too high to where I couldn't control it any longer, and I started to get issues in my lower back. And instead of utilizing auto-regulation like I usually do, which I was still utilizing auto-regulation and percentage-based training, but I was kind of pushing those weights a little further than I can. So that just shows how important it is to, progress to the point where you can adapt to your training, opposed to trying to look cool or letting your ego get involved.
Absolutely. So, as I'm sure you just saw the last couple sets, Corey did some press downs, again, super controlled. While he went and did some arm work, I continued doing a little bit extra for my chest. I just went on the Smith machine, did some incline. I like to keep it high. I like to keep it right at my collarbone. And, again, not crazy amount of weight. And I did, I think, 3 sets of 12 at that weight. So I only recorded the 1 set. But for me, hypertrophy style lifting when it comes to accessory movements is huge. I like that a lot. I feel like I get a lot of muscular development from that. Maybe not so much strength, but for me, I get a better fullness. So looking here, Corey, as he just explained, you know, and if you guys watch this to the last rep right here, I mean, yeah, that was a tough rep, but you know what? He maintained form. He kept his composure. He didn't let the weight bully him. He didn't bounce it off the bottom. He came up nice, slow, controlled. He might have paused for a second, recuperated himself, and then continued to follow through with the movement.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just, you know, a lot of people try to progress faster than they're able to, you know, and they start doing things like throwing the weight around, or for instance, in something as simple as a bicep curl, you know what I mean? Just a single joint movement. They're swaying around, and you know, there's nothing wrong with maybe a little bit of body English, but when you're trying to lift a weight that you can't really control, you're better off taking a couple steps back, analyzing what's going on, and saying, you know what, I should probably utilize a weight that I can control, and you know, try to build from there, and then progress at, you know, at what you can control, or what you can, you know, the amount that you can progress, opposed to, you know, just trying to force progression, because that never works. You know what I mean? You can't force progression. You need to progress in a way that you can. That's kind of hard for me to explain, but hopefully you understand what
Absolutely.
I'm saying there.
So this is an interesting clip here, because opposed to common belief in including myself, I mean, I was doing this for a while. When it comes to side lateral raises, for me, for the longest time, I would keep a straight back. I'd come up nice and slow, elbow pointed a little bit forward, and I would try to pour the water out as I got to the top. Don't get me wrong. If you're doing that, there's nothing wrong with that. It's fine. However, if you want to get a little bit more out of it, Corey kind of explained something to me the other day that made a lot of sense, and it actually helped me out a lot. Basically, what he explained is, as opposed to having that straight back, you want to actually do, what did you say? You want to...
So basically, you kind of tilt at the pelvis a little bit, and opposed to sitting straight up like this, you kind of angle your body, you know, you get a little bit of an angle at the torso, okay? And you also bend a little bit at the elbows. Instead of keeping your arms completely straight like this, you want to bend a little bit at the elbows and sort of bring the weight out in front of you. I actually watched a video, a guy named Alberto Nunez, and he explained how he had been doing this for a while, so I figured I'd give it a try. And it took me a little bit of time to get used to, because, you know, I was basically doing the traditional lateral raise where I just kind of, you know, brought the weight up by my side. But once I started utilizing this technique, it was pretty crazy. The amount of, you know, the amount of stimulus I felt in my lateral delt opposed to my anterior delt, just from that little bit of lean and kind of bringing the weight opposed to off to your side like this, more or less in front of you, and kind of keeping a bend at the elbow. Give it a try, guys. Try it out, and I guarantee that one little tip will help.
And real quick, because the video is kind of about, I think it's about to end, just on this exercise, guys, right here. You see all the time, right? Guys in the gym doing flies, leaning forward, right? They're letting that weight control them. They're using their shoulders. They're using secondary muscles that they're not trying to focus on, right? This exercise, real simple, guys. Keep your chest up. Keep that shoulder, keep those, the scapula retracted, right? And all you want to do is come in. You almost, picture flexing your chest, right? When you flex your chest, naturally, your arms pull, right? That's all you're doing. Just a little bit wider. Flexing your chest, you're letting your arms come in as a secondary movement to your chest, right? Keep it up.
Focus on pulling with almost your upper arm. You know what I mean? That'll kind of help attach that mind, you know, to what you're doing. You know, I'm not a big fan of like the whole mind to muscle thing, but it does have some truth to it. You know what I mean? If you're kind of concentrating on what you're doing and what, you know, when you actually think about, you know, the movement of like a fly, right? And you're just focusing on your hands pulling in, you're probably going to hit your arms a little bit more. But if you focus on kind of pulling the upper arms together, right? You're probably going to get a better emphasis on your chest while doing flies. So yeah.
So that was pretty much the workout. At the end of it, we both did some cardio. We like to do low intensity cardio. So primarily what I'll do is I'll get on the treadmill. I'll throw it at about a 15 incline, which is as high as you can go, and then I'll walk at between 3.5 miles an hour, and I usually aim to burn anything between 200 and 400 calories, which on average it'll probably take about 25 minutes. But steady state cardio for me has always been beneficial in the sense that it's not overly taxing, and it allows you to maintain a bit of muscle mass while also burning fat. So for me, that's primarily what I enjoy.
And so basically when it comes to losing weight, losing body fat, trying to gain that more aesthetic look, as you can tell, I'm kind of out of shape right now. Like I said, I had just gotten back into training and whatnot. But I'm dieting. I'm tracking my macros. I'm trying to get lean again and just get back into shape. So when it comes to utilizing cardio, what I've realized is that, cardio it's just a tool. A lot of people think you just do cardio and you all of a sudden, you'll lose a bunch of body fat just from doing cardio. But what a lot of, this may just be an anecdote of mine, but I've noticed that, when dieting, the amount of weight I lose is more or less dependent on how well I'm doing dieting, obviously, right? When you reduce your calories, you're going to lose body fat. That's just what it is. But I noticed that I like to do cardio more or less because of the mental aspect of it, and because it helps kind of like wake me up and it kind of puts me in a good mood. Not only that, it is helping to burn some extra calories, for my diet. But remember that cardio is just a tool to help burn a few extra calories. You don't use cardio by itself to lose body fat. You use cardio along with dieting. And once you add these tools together, you'll probably get a better outcome. It's just so important to make sure that you're tracking your macros. You're taking in enough protein, and you're utilizing all of these tools. Cardio's not necessary for losing body fat, but like I said, I like to do it because it helps me, not only to burn those few extra calories, but also psychologically.
And guys, just to piggyback on that, at the end of the day, if you want to lose weight, your caloric expenditure has to be greater than your caloric intake, okay? So basically what Corey is saying, as far as utilizing cardio as a tool, sure. By adding that bit of cardio in addition to your deficit of calories, your decrease, the optimal goal there is to burn more than you're taking in that day.
Exactly.
In order to lose body fat. So again, whether you're just getting your regular workout in, right? Or you're walking around your neighborhood, taking the dog for a walk, pushing the baby stroller, it doesn't matter. The fact being is you're trying to burn more calories than you're consuming in that given day. So however you go about doing it, whether you lower your calories, fine. Yep. You could lower your calories in addition to doing cardio, fine, may allow you to actually eat more.
Or you could say at maintenance and just do a little bit of extra cardio to help bring you down into a deficit, And not only that, cardio is healthy to do. It's good for your heart. Why are you just in the gym to look like this stud? Why aren't you in there to try to, to be in the gym for fitness? The reason why you're in the gym shouldn't just be, to look like this aesthetic person. It should be the goal of being healthy and fit. Not just bodybuilding, not just powerlifting. As you can see right now, I'm a little bit fluffy. But the reason I want to get leaner is not just to look better. It's to be healthier. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of doing it. So
yeah, guys. That being said, that pretty much concludes our video. If you like this, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. Click the subscribe button. We absolutely would appreciate it. The thumbs up helps us a lot. We're going to try to do this. Hopefully, we're going to try to upload on a weekly basis. We're going to try to come at you guys with some informative information, some fun stuff. We're going to try to be a little bit diverse. We're going to get into diet. We're going to get into nutrition. We're going to get into different programming aspects of things. Yeah. Corey, again, mentioned he's into powerlifting. He's into all sorts of different functional movements for the body. Yeah. I'm into diet. I love nutrition aspect of things. I'm currently dieting, so I can come at you guys with a physique update. I can, you know, different tips we're going to try to come at you guys with, and hopefully this helps you guys.
Yeah,
Hopefully
we enjoy doing this.
Right.
This is, you know, this is what we like to do.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was, you know, no matter how long, you know, you're out of the gym or whatever, as long as you make this a passion of yours, you will continually do it for the rest of your life. And that's the point. You know, it's not just right now. It's trying to gain a passion for fitness, gain a passion for health, and getting bigger and stronger and just being a better version of yourself. You know, that's the whole point of all this. So no matter how long I was out of the gym or whatever, this is my passion. This is what I want to do. And I want to bring you guys something of value just because I like to share.
And keep in mind, you know, the gym is only one aspect of it. Overall, this is about quality of life. You know, it's mental happiness, healthiness. You know, you put yourself in a positive atmosphere, and you're going to reflect from that. So, you know, do what you guys enjoy. Do what you love. Whether it's the gym, whether it's, you know, anything else. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, just be happy with yourselves. Live in the moment. Enjoy that lifestyle. Because at the end of the day, you only have one life to live.
Yep.
Make it worth it.